guys, I'm back. Thank you for tuning in. Long time no talk. It's been a while since I posted a video, but I like to space my videos out a little bit because I don't always have that much stuff in flower and I don't want to bore you guys, but I do have some cool stuff to show you guys today. So we're going to take a look, and I've been getting some questions about my lights and my grow shelves. So I thought I'd give you a little look at that. I know I've shown off my setup a couple times in the past, but it's been a while. So I thought I'd give you an updated little Growspace tour. So let's go ahead and get started. Ready? My happy place. Now, I usually don't show you this side because it's a complete and utter disaster, but what the hell, let's take a look. So, our temp is 70 Fahrenheit, 60 humidity, my cheapo humidifier, and a fan over there in the corner, and a bunch of junk. I just turned off the fan because it's kind of loud, but this is just all my fertilizers and stuff, sprays for bugs and whatnot. I sometimes have a little bucket of water here in case I want to give something a soak. Sometimes if one of my plants is not responding to anything, I'll hit it with some Super Thrive and soak it for a little while. It's a nice trick. And the orchid graveyard, we're not going to look at that because it's depressing. Oh, and a random mushroom growing kit. I don't even like mushrooms, I just think they're cool, and I thought it'd be fun to grow some, so I might do that in a YouTube video, so that'd be kind of cool. As for my lights, I have to admit I am not an expert. I got kind of lucky that the first fixtures that I bought ended up working out really well, and I never had to really think about it much beyond that. I have one of these just like wire baker's rack shelves. A lot of these fixtures fit really perfectly on these. It's a 4-foot long fixture by 1 foot wide. These are LEDs. A couple people have asked me why I haven't hung the fixture on the underside of the shelf. That would kind of not block as much light, and it would get the fixtures closer to the plants and everything. Most people try to do something like that. So it's a valid question, and I don't have the best answer really. I kind of just like don't trust the little chain things that hold it up. I can just imagine the whole fixture just collapsing onto my plants. And the lights are strong enough that I don't think the extra couple inches is really that big a deal. If you had like weaker fixtures that weren't as high output and you wanted to get them closer to your plants, then, you know, maybe you could try mounting the lights somehow on the underside, but this works just fine for me. The brand of my lights is called Duralux, and basically I just looked for the highest specs I could find. I think it's 6400K, you know, full spectrum lighting. I like the white LEDs. I know a lot of people swear by those blue and red ones, but I hate the way they look. I wanted white lights, so that's what I did, and they're working pretty well for me. If I can find any info, maybe I'll link it in the description box for this video. If I can find a link to the actual fixtures that I use, I'll include that too in case you're curious. But yeah, there really isn't a whole lot more to it. Pretty simple. I have my fan, my humidifier, my shelves, and my lights, and everything seems to do pretty well for me. It isn't much, but it suits my needs for now. Until one day when I have a big, beautiful greenhouse, I will have to enjoy my kitchen pantry orchid oasis. Up first, I have to show off this beauty. This is my current Pride and Joy LC CG Roebling Beach View with these huge purpurata type flowers. It's a pretty famous purpurata type because of the stunning showy flowers, that really nice cerulean color, the gold veining in the lip, just everything about it is amazing. The plant is huge, which is a bit frustrating sometimes. I grow this outside most of the time. I bring it in for the winter, obviously, when it gets too cold. But a lot of these big Cattleyas sort of like the abuse of growing outside. I know this one really likes the temperature differential, the strong air movement, the really bright light. It just grows way better when it's outside, but it's begun blooming more often now that the plants a little more established. So I'm hoping next time around I'll be able to get more than one spike on it because it's incredible. I love the fragrance. Everything about this thing is absolutely stunning. If you have been a viewer of my channel for a while, then you're probably familiar with this guy. This is Maranta Paradise, which is this awesome sort of standard size Cattleya. It's a pretty big plant, but it's worth it for these flowers. It's got these nice splashes of color, nice contrast between the yellow and the purple, nice bit of ruffling on the flowers. It's just amazing, and the fragrance is really nice. I always look forward to the fragrance on this. The fragrance is sort of special. It smells similar to other Cattleyas, but there's something kind of unique about it. It has a bit of like a tropical, kind of like fruity twist to the fragrance, which I really love. It blooms a couple times a year for me. It can flower on basically every new growth as long as it's happy. It is pretty hybridized, so it's got that ease of growing and ease of blooming, I think, that you get with a lot of really complex hybrids. So not the hardest thing to flower. Hopefully next year will be the year where I can get a really nice big display. That would be just amazing. I've got 2 Orangus in flower, and I have a couple in spike too, so I'm really excited. This one here is Orangus ludioalba var rotisticta, which is this really cute little Orangus with a nice little orange button nose on it. This one has a bit of a reputation for being hard to grow. You just have to be really precious with roots on angrecoids. A lot of orchids can regrow roots. Sympodial orchids, they are just firing off these new growths all the time that grow their own roots, so it's not that big a deal. But a monopodial, and especially angrecoids like this, once you lose the roots, there's not a lot you can do for them, so that's why you gotta just be extra careful with these guys. They like good water quality and all that. But yeah, I'm really happy to have this. I can't take too much credit for the plant. I've only had it a little while now. It was already in spike when I got it, but I'm hoping it'll do well for me. Here is another Orangus that I have in flower, and I am just head over heels in love with this one. This is Orangus punctata. It's my first time blooming it, and it's stunning. You can see how tiny the plant is. That's the size of the plant, and it produces these huge flowers. So it's really amazing. If you can see the long nectary there, angrecoids have these really cool spurs on them. Many angrecoids are fragrant. A lot of the Orangus aren't though, and punctata is not reportedly fragrant, but I've heard a couple random reports of people saying that theirs is fragrant, and I was very surprised to discover that mine is too. It was only for a couple nights. The flowers aren't terribly long lasting, and I think the fragrance may already be waning, but it was strong enough for me to notice when I was just walking by it. But regardless of whether or not it's fragrant, it's just gorgeous. I would love it either way. Here is my Path Henrianum. I know we looked at this in one of my previous videos, but the flowers are starting to fade, so I figured we would honor this one more time. Path Henrianum, a delightful little path, nice and compact, beautiful flowers. I love this thing. One more path to check out. This is my Path Marant Green. I got it as a no ID, but you know, it's one of those standard green Marant ones, and it's really cool. I've had this for a while. It was the first path I ever got, and it blooms pretty reliably for me. It's pretty slow growing and slow to bloom. Does everything really slow, but I love it, and that mottled foliage is just so beautiful. This is a bit of a repeat as well. I showed this in a previous video, but it's got more flowers on it now than it did before, so I thought we'd take a look. This is my Tolumnia Kalapana Red. The flowers start off quite red and then they fade more pink like this, but they're still very pretty. The flowers probably aren't going to last too much longer, so I thought we'd appreciate it one more time. I really love this thing. It's got a bunch of new growths coming in for me. I'm excited. This is my first and only Tolumnia, and I love it. I might have to get me some more. Okay guys, we're almost done. Second to last one here. This is my Cattleya Beverlys Blush Kalapana, I think is the name. And it's just this beautiful pink. Cattleya. This thing is super fragrant. It smells awesome. It's very nice and like citrusy and light. Really beautiful fragrance. The plant itself is quite compact. It's down there. Oh, look at this bizarre mutated Cattleya flower that just opened for me. It's got like 2 lips and 2 sepals and then like 2 fused columns here. It's really bizarre. It kind of looks like a tulip or something. But anyway, yeah, I really love this. It's one of the first Cattleyas I ever bought. I bought it before I knew basically anything about orchids, so it's kind of cool that it's still flowering and doing well for me. I've had it for a while, and I'm always delighted when it blooms. Let's finish on a very high note. Here is my Maranta Viciana, which is one of my favorite orchids of all time. If I had to get rid of my whole collection and could only keep a handful of orchids, Viciana would be one of them. I am just in love with this thing. Not only is Viciana probably the biggest Masdevallia flower out there, but the color is incredible. It's this orange color, but it's covered in these little purple hairs that give it this crazy color changing appearance. It's hard to catch on camera. You can kind of see it there. See the purple? Isn't that crazy? Because purple and orange are very different colors that you usually don't see together on the same plant. So that's my favorite thing about it. The color is just wild. I have done a Masdevallia culture video in the past, and it's a good video. I worked pretty hard on it and I did a lot of research, but it was a while ago and I hadn't been growing Masdevallias that long myself when I filmed that video, so I kind of want to do an updated one. You can go check my video out anyway if you would like. Like I said, it's still a good video, but I think we could use an updated Masdevallia video, so let me know if you're interested in that. And once again, I have to thank you guys for tuning in. You are awesome. I really appreciate that you guys take the time to watch my videos and leave me comments and all that stuff. I really look forward to it every time I post. And I recently hit 700 subscribers, which is awesome. I appreciate that so much. You guys are the best. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I'll be back with another video soon. I have a lot of cool stuff in bud getting ready to open, so I can't wait to come back to show you guys what's new. So stick around. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.